welcome back to another Extreme Grocery Budget Challenge video. In this video, you will see that my budget was $10, and unlike my other Extreme Grocery Budget videos, which by the way, I will link down below, I did not go in with a game plan. Normally, I sit and I strategically plan what I can get and what meals I can make, but this time I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna give myself a time limit. So I gave myself 30 minutes to cruise through the store and a $10 budget, and this is what I came up with. I don't feel like I did that bad for doubling my challenge. Not only did I have a tiny budget, but I also had a time frame and no pre-planning. But when I work on the spot, sometimes I do really, really well. And I was super pumped with the recipes that I came up with. Just to preference this video, if you are someone who clicked on this video because you and your family are in need of food, I hope you reach out to the resources in your community. If you're in the US, call 211. They're an amazing resource that you can just call right from your cell phone, and they will hook you up and let you know where you can get food in your area. As someone who volunteers at my local food pantry, I know how high the need is. So if you stumbled on my video because you are in need of food, get food, feed your bellies. If you clicked on today's video just for some ideas, thank you for stopping in. I hope you consider subscribing. I do these videos a couple times a month because my husband and I do have a $30 grocery budget every single week, but sometimes I like to get a really extreme just to see how far I can press not only our personal budget, but just my creativity as well. And before we go any further, I just want to say there's not a lot of veggies in this Extreme Grocery Budget Challenge or any of my others because I've come to the conclusion that vegetables are a privilege. If you think about filling your belly with the highest amount of calories, you're probably not going to pick vegetables. I do try to fit a couple vegetables in every single video like this that I do, but they are not the main focus. The main focus is just to have a lot more calories for a little amount of money. So with that being said, let's jump into the grocery haul and then I'll show you all the meals that I made this week for $10. All right, I'm showing you a really quick grocery haul that it cost me $9.75. So if you need to pause your screen and look at my receipt, you can see my prices. $9.75. I got 7 bananas, 4 red peppers. Get anything that's on sale for about $1 worth of vegetables in the produce department if your peppers aren't as cheap as mine. 2 packs of ramen, a 5-pound bag of flour, 2 cans of vegetables, a mixed vegetable and a green bean, 3 apples. I got whatever was 97 cents a pound, and a 5-pound bag of potatoes.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
$9.75. Let's see what I can make and how many meals for the week ahead. Ready, set, go.
I have made this homemade bread so many times on my Extreme Grocery Budget Challenges because I keep sharing over and over and over how inexpensive it is to make bread from home. So it's really, really simple. I do want to also say, because I forgot to say in the intro, I am using pantry staples, seasonings, yeast, things that are really accessible and really inexpensive. But if you don't have them, that's okay. Even for this bread, you can just use baking soda. But also, we forget that we still have neighbors. So if you need yeast or mustard or something that I use in this recipe and you don't have it on hand, and you're like, you know what, I want to stick to $10 or, you know, a really inexpensive grocery budget, go ask a neighbor. I literally had someone ask me last week, hey, do you have any yeast? And I was like, are you making bread? They're like, oh, I'm making pretzels. And I was like, I got you. Like, I have yeast. So don't be afraid to ask someone in your life if you can, you know, borrow some pantry staples. I'm not using anything super extreme, but if you'd make this bread, make sure to tag me on Instagram at Miranda Running on Plants because it's fabulous. And I also have a few different recipes I'll link below that I've made this bread into different flavors, and you need to check that out because this bread is stellar. I went ahead and made 2 loaves of bread this week and just kind of had it to snack on. I used it as a pre-run snack. And I also made sandwiches for the week, and it was delicious. I love this bread toasted. I slice it up and then pop it in my refrigerator. But I added apples, peppers, and then I did have some mustard and dill relish on hand. Don't knock this sandwich until you try it. I actually had one like this a couple weeks ago at a little deli with bean sprouts and romaine, just like this, and it was incredible. So that's what inspired the sandwich. Sandwiches are awesome because they're super inexpensive, especially with homemade bread, and you can add anything you'd like to top them. Instagram already got a sneak peek of this apple coffee cake, but I got flour this week because I know, one, it's super high in calories, two, I personally really like baked goods and bread and all those options, so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna make a lot of baked goods this week, and that it sounds delicious all the time for me. Plus, they're really easy, like take on the go snacks or breakfasts or lunches. So I took a couple of the apples, chopped them up, put some water and cinnamon in a pan, kind of brought that to a nice simmer, got the apples nice and soft, and then added that with some flour, baking soda, baking powder, and cinnamon. I made like a bundt style coffee cake, and it was delicious. It was really big, and I could have this for breakfast almost every single day. But you'll see that I had so much food. I actually almost had 10 days worth of food where I could fill in the holes with everything that I was making for the week. Isn't this beautiful? Like I said, Instagram already got a sneak peek. I do usually put sneak peeks of my videos over there. So if you're not following me, go stop this video right now, pause it, and go follow me over on Instagram because you won't regret it. All right, if you've seen any of my extreme grocery budget challenges, you probably think I'm making shepherd's pie. Well, you're only half right. I'm popping in some potatoes to make mashed potatoes for tonight's dinner. I love my Instant Pot. If you don't have one, you can just make the potatoes on the stovetop like normal, but I work a lot and the Instant Pot just really saves me a ton of time. In and out in 8 minutes. I have dinner ready in about 10 to 12. It's like literally the most perfect thing for my busy life. If you don't have one and you can budget for one, I highly recommend it, especially if you're really busy or you cook a lot in a hot climate like in the summertime. Where I live, it gets up into the 120s in the summer and I don't like cooking on my range. So here I'm using another pantry staple for us, which is Better Than Bouillon. If you don't have access to this or don't want to buy it, you can just make some of your own homemade veggie broth. And I'm just going to make a quick gravy. I've showed this a few times on my channel before, and it's delicious. I'll leave a typed recipe in the description box for this. It's amazing. Like if you're a gravy person, mashed potato gravy, seriously, it's like the easiest, cheapest, most functional food. And because a lot of people ask who pop over to my channel who, you know, don't realize that like I just eat whole food plant-based 99% of the time, potatoes actually have 5 grams of protein per potato. So this meal actually had 3 potatoes, which puts me at 15 grams of protein, which is amazing because not only do I have something that's extremely budget friendly, but I also have something that's whole food plant-based. I have a vegetable, I have gravy, and I have plenty of protein. Once my potatoes are out of the Instant Pot, I put them into a large bowl and then I mix them up with a hand blender. You can use a potato masher if you want to. Don't toss out the potato water. That starchy water is gold. It's like pasta water. It's amazing. So I will usually mash my potatoes up really quickly, blend them together, and then just kind of eyeball the water until I have the consistency of the potatoes that I am looking for. When I make shepherd's pie, sometimes I make them a little bit drier, and then when I have mashed potatoes as a main course, I usually make them fluffier. You can add anything you like to these, nutritional yeast, vegan butter. You can add a little bit of plant milk if you want to add it to make it creamier. I didn't add any salt because the Better Than Bouillon is super salty, but look how beautiful this plate is. Remember a couple minutes ago when I said I eat whole food plant-based 99% of the time? 100% true, but I love ramen. I don't know what it is. It's just really nostalgic. I love the brothiness of it, and I'm kind of fighting a little bit of like a head/spring cold or allergies, and I thought the brothiness of ramen sounds just really good. Same with the saltiness because it just, I don't know, there's something really pleasant about that when I have a cold. But I decided to pop a red pepper in with it because that would add some freshness. And then I added the Trader Joe's chickenless seasoning to kind of add a chicken ramen flavor. I didn't use the season packets. You'll see that in a little bit, what I decided to do with those. I know that ramen is your typical budget-friendly food. If you have very little to spend, you can fill your belly with a high amount of calories, but I really enjoy it, and I'm going to keep telling you that, so that way if you also enjoy it, you can leave a comment down below and let me know. But adding some cheap, fresh veggies really takes it over the top and makes it so much more delicious. I did have that entire 5-pound bag of flour, so in my mind when I picked that up in the store, I knew that I had some things on hand like baking soda, baking powder, cinnamon, and I could make breads, I could make muffins, I could make pancakes. So I decided to make pancakes for lunch this day, and I did add 2 of my bananas. You can also add the peels to the bananas if you want to. There's a lot of potassium and nutrients in those, but I know a lot of you have made points in my other videos that a lot of you can't eat the peels because you're allergic to latex, so I left them out of this recipe as I shared it with you. But typically when I make a smoothie or any kind of pancakes at home, I just throw the whole banana in. And I did save 1 banana to have as a snack on this day for after my run because I did have 7 bananas, and I used 4 for another recipe and then 2 for this one. But I just made some quick pancakes. This recipe yielded 4 pancakes, which I thought was perfect. 1 cup of flour, 2 bananas, some water, baking soda, baking powder, and some cinnamon, and they were perfect. Again, it was another take on the go kind of meal, or you could use it as a snack. But when you see all of the meals that I have here today, you see that I have a ton of servings and a ton of calories that will make you super full and satisfied, and there's a little bit of fruit and veggies sprinkled in. The other 4 bananas I decided to take and make banana little muffins with them. I utilize these as lunches and snacks. I am on the go a lot, so I find convenient for my lifestyle is something that I can quickly take with me and eat as a finger food. So sandwiches, pancakes, snacks like muffins, things where I'm on the go where I don't necessarily need utensils for, especially as it gets nicer and nicer out. It just makes it very convenient for me. And I also had these for dinner a couple times. As you can see, I had so many meals to use throughout this week that I could have breakfast for dinner if I wanted to, or I could have some of the leftovers for dinner for lunches. Also, this date syrup I've had sitting in my cupboard for a while and I wanted to use it up. If you don't have this on hand, you could simply use a half a cup of applesauce. You could use a half a cup of maple syrup. It's totally not even necessary to this recipe, but I did want to add a different flavor component than just as the same as the pancakes, and it does make it really nice and sweet, but it's completely not something that you have to use in this recipe. You can omit it altogether. I also wanted to add that I know a lot of you that follow me have shared with me that you're allergic to bananas. It's something super common. I personally love bananas, don't have an allergy, so I continue to eat them. But you can simply substitute for pumpkin puree or even a baked sweet potato for any of these recipes. Plus, I'll make sure to leave that in a comment down below that I'll pin in the comments just in case you forget. But that's a great substitute because it has that nice sweet starchiness, the pumpkin or the sweet potato. And then you can make these and you won't miss a beat if you don't have bananas or if you can't eat bananas. I hope I'm not disappointing you by sharing you shepherd's pie, but I was going to make something different instead of shepherd's pie, but then I thought, you know what, it's like my favorite thing, and I'm really into mashed potatoes right now, and I'm the one that's eating these meals. But just so you guys know, you can obviously do a ton of things with potatoes. You can make hash browns, mashed potatoes, you can roast them, you can make french fries in your air fryer or in your oven. You can add different kinds of seasonings. They're really great as a budget-friendly base. Plus, as I already said, they're pretty high in protein. So I took the leftover potatoes, popped it back in my Instant Pot, made more mashed potatoes, and then I decided to kind of just go through my fridge and find any like staples that I have, and I decided to do the soy sauce packets to add kind of some salt and some depth, a little bit more of the better than bouillon, and this is the sauteed onion flavor, which is 100% vegan, some nutritional yeast to add like a creamy flavor, and then some of my absolute favorite, the sweet and hot mustard, which I put this on everything. It's like Frank's Red Hot to me. I put on everything. I also decided to do another roux, like flour and water mixture to thicken it up, and then I put my veggies inside of it. It was super flavorful. It was nice and spicy. It had a lot of depth because of the better than bouillon and saltiness from the soy sauce packet, so it was really delicious. It might be kind of a weird combination, but I encourage you to just kind of pull everything that you have out when you are cooking pantry staples or low budget challenges. If you just kind of pick and, create new sauces and add new flavors, it becomes really exciting. And worst case scenario, you have a couple of servings of food that you don't really love and you'll never make again. But this was really delicious. It was really filling, and I had a whole bunch of servings so I could have some leftovers later the next day. If you don't have nutritional yeast, you could always add a vegan butter or even a little bit of plant milk to kind of add some creaminess to your mashed potatoes. But I also decided to add some seasonings to the top of this, and it kind of just took it over the top. But the spicy mustard with the nutritional yeast really did add a nice creaminess to this shepherd's pie. It would probably be called something else like veggie pie or something, since it's not anywhere close to an actual shepherd's pie. But mashed potatoes on the top of a dish like this is so good to me. And yes, like I said, I did add some additional seasoning, some chili powder over the top. This was fantastic. I actually ended up sharing this with my husband because this $10 of meals was just for myself, and like I said, I had enough to feed myself for at least 10 days.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you really liked it. I hope you give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to stick around to see more videos like this. If you make any of the recipes that I shared here today, or if you were inspired to do your own extreme grocery budget challenge, I hope you tag me over on Instagram at Miranda Running on Plants and let me know how you did in your extreme challenge or how any of the meals were that you tried or were inspired by. Have an awesome day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.